Okay, first and foremost, I want to give all honors and praises and glory belongeth to my Lord and Savior, whose name is Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wahavaka Kwadash. The name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and his Son's name is Yahweh Shai, who we reverence, and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth, and that continue to teach this truth well, and to the hopeful elect across the globe, and to the very few brothers and sisters listening and also learning across the globe. This lesson is going to be based on the wicked individual named David D. Rothschild, so-called philanthropist. So we're going to click this video and we're going to go straight to the scriptures after it's done.
I'm David. I've been working with Hyundai since 2016, and we're looking to the future. We're looking to what we can do together over the next, hopefully 3 or 4 years. The space of mobility is changing rapidly, and I think there's a lot of mutual respect and support for the future and what that holds. Their trust, really, in me to help them deliver their vehicles, and their clean vehicles, their mobility vehicles for the future. So that's where it started, and it's definitely, there's a long road ahead. The start of a really good story is always that what if? What if we? And then what fills in the blank is up to you. As we move into a world that becomes more automated, the idea of having unknowns and finding new paths is going to be a great possibility for us. When I started reading about plastic accumulating in our ocean, I started to think about the problem and go, well, what would get people's attention? So the idea behind the plastiki was to showcase that waste can be a resource. When you work in the environmental space, you're always constantly challenged. You need a spark to make the whole thing start. So I think never underestimate individual action to start a movement. Progress is where we start to close the gap on the relationship between humans and nature and each other. We are part of the web of life. We're one of many species. We only have one planet. How are you taking charge?
Okay, so as you can see, this individual is named by what? Goes by the name of David D. Rothschild. Okay, which you should know who the Rothschilds are. The banking elite family, okay, that run this world, okay, as it says in Job 9:24. But this individual, here it is, he's speaking about what, 4 years, 5 years of plans, and the scriptures say that in Psalms 49:11, the inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, okay, and their dwelling places to the generations, because he talked about future. Key word he used, future. So again, his family, his father and his family, what are they pushing for? An AI system, okay, which is AI. What does it mean? Artificial intelligence. So this video, it was mixed with a push of the New World Order, so slyly, and a bit of humanitarianism. So anyway, let's finish this. And their dwelling places to all generations, they call their land after their own names. And all this stuff he's speaking about, to what's it, the plastikizi, or whatever they want to call it, plastigi experiment, all that's about trying to save the earth from pollution. But who runs these major corporations that are polluting the earth? Who runs it? It's Esau that runs it. So it's all hypocrisy. It's all hypocrisy at the end of the day. I want to quickly go into that word philanthropist. Philanthropist, one activated by a philanthropical spirit, one who endeavours to benefit others. So Esau, they got a habit of doing things just so they can feel better about themselves. Not that they want to do it, it's that they can feel better about themselves, so they can see, look, superhero to the rescue, that type of spirit. So it benefits others by active works of benevolence and beneficence, which goes into philanthropy, related to philanthropism, if I'm saying it right. Philanthropist from the Latin philanthrapos, from Greek philanthropos, so-called loving, mankind, which really goes into universalism. Okay, the New World Order, which is a part of universalism, bringing everybody together under a one world order. Okay, through the chip. Don't be deceived. Okay, and you notice how this guy looks just like Caesar Borgia, just like the false image of Christ. Okay. And where was I? Loving mankind, humane, which this man ain't humane and his family ain't humane. How could you talk about the earth, cleaning the earth, getting rid of plastic, when your family, they're dropping bombs into the oceans, they're dropping bombs on land, they're polluting the land, they're GMO food. It's complete hypocrisy at its best. So bear me just a minute. Click on this again.
I've been working with Hyundai since 2016, and we're looking to the future. We're looking to what we can do together over the next, hopefully 3 or 4 years. The space of mobility is changing rapidly, and I think there's a lot of mutual respect and support for the future and what that holds. Their trust, really, in me to help them deliver their vehicles and their clean vehicles, their mobility vehicles for the future. So that's where it started, and it's definitely, there's a long road ahead. The start of a really good story is always that what if we, and then what fills in the blank is up to you. As we move into a world that becomes more automated, the idea of having unknowns and finding new paths is going to be a great possibility for us.
You hear that? A world that's more automated. What did he mean by that? A world more automated, because everything's done by automation. Everything's being digitalized. Everything is being monetized. Which goes back to what? Science. Okay? Science. Tech. Okay? This is what his New World Order is being built upon. Science, technology. Okay? Man versus machine. Man being a slave to machine. So man, woman will no longer be sufficient at all. There'll be a machine controlling you. A device, which is the RFID chip.
When I started reading about plastic accumulating in our ocean, I started to think about the problem and go, well, what would get people's attention? So the idea behind the plastiki was to showcase that waste can be a resource. When you work in the environmental space,
What a devil. What a devil. See, but the average person, an average Negro on the street, if this individual was to come up to you, you look at it, you would worship him. Like nothing's wrong. This guy's a devil. Bear me just a minute. Let's go to Job 20 and 11:10. His children shall seek to please the poor. Okay? And it's what Esau's doing on a higher level and even on a lower level. Okay? I heard an Edomite last week speak about, he was on the phone, he was speaking about, we need to find this so-and-so a home. So-and-so is only 3 or 4 years old. And I knew what he was speaking about instantly. Probably an orphan. Okay? Probably a child from Uganda or one of them poor countries. And what does Esau do? Oh, Esau to the rescue, Mr. Superman. Really, you're the devil. Okay? A false humanitarian. Okay? Even when Esau helps you, there's something sinister behind it. Always. Never trust your enemy. His children shall seek to please the poor. His hands shall restore rare goods. Okay? His hands shall restore their goods. So everything you took, you're going to have to restore that one way or another. His bones are full of the sin of his youth. Going back to Cain, this man ain't changed. We shall lie down with him in the dust, the grave. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth. Okay, so it's always there. It's never left, yet his meat in his bowels. It is turned, it is the gall of asps within him. What poison? Okay, and you're going to throw it up. And you see snakes, what do? A lot of the times they eat their prey and they throw it up. And this is likewise to what the goods that he's had. He have swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. So your forefathers are going to swallow, look, you swallowed up them riches, but you're going to vomit them back up. Just like a snake, the Most High shall cast them out of his belly. Okay? So everything you had, you're going to have to give it up one way or another. Because he doesn't want to give it up. If he was really sincere, he would say, look, this is what my family done. We didn't put on a pretense. He would give it all back and his family would give it back. But they're not going to do that because they're the devil. Okay? Never trust your enemy. Bear me just a minute. Go to Ecclesiastes 12 and 6. It's all a big facade with these Edomites. One big facade. Ecclesiastes 12, and we're going to go straight to... Again, might as well start at 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. And when iron rusteth, it stays rusted. Okay? Cannot get rid of it. Though he humble himself. And he's coming in a so-called humble manner. Okay? And go crouching. Yet take good heed, beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as thou hast wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Why? Because you're going to see that wickedness. It's never gone. Okay? It's never going to go. Let's jump straight to verse 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips. He's speaking ever so sweetly. And something that's sweet, when you eat something that's sweet, it appeals to your taste buds. It appeals to your flesh. That's why you like it. A lot of people like sweet things, which really the bitter things are better for you. But an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips. Well, really it depends, because you have sweet things that are good for you as well, like fruit. Okay? An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips. So if he's speaking sweetly, it's appealing. Okay? It's appealing. Okay? Deceitful, but in his heart he imagined how to throw thee in a pit. And that pit is for system. And he's all thinking about how can he throw you, keep you in this system, keep you in bondage. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. Okay, and if an adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and thou will pretend to help thee, yet he shall undermine thee. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much, and change his countenance. So this is Esau's MO. You can't trust him. And this also, you can also acquaint this with the wicked of our people as well. Let's go to Psalms 55, and we'll shut off here. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, ever so smooth. Lies, but war was in his heart. He's looking how he can overthrow you. His words were softer than oil, speaking them good soft words, yet were they drawn swords. So this is how our enemies, this is their mind. They speak good, okay, but there's mischief under their tongue. That's why brothers got to stay circumspect. Never trust your enemy. Esau, our enemy, the other nations, and the wicked of our own people, that Yahweh said, John 8 and 44, ye of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and there's no change in him. Bear me just a minute. Shut off.
Always constantly challenged. You need a spark to make the whole thing start. So I think never underestimate individual action to start a movement. Progress is where we start to close the gap on the relationship between humans and nature and each other. We are part of the web of life. We're one of many species. We only have one planet. How are you taking charge?
Okay. With this lesson, I hope this was edifying, and until the next time, Shalom.